Attention all the student of 4th semester PTDC electrical. Today I am starting topic number 5, that is electrolysis or the chemical effect of electric current. In this particular topic we have to discuss Faraday's law of electrolysis and derivation of formulas for calculation of electrochemical equivalent or chemical equivalent of a substance or material, and then we have to discuss type of cell, batteries. So first law states that current flowing through an electrolyte, the mass of ions liberated by the electrolyte due to flow of current is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. In simple word we can say amount of ions liberated on each electrode is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. So suppose M is the mass of the electrolyte or mass of the ions liberated, and Q is the Q coulomb charge passed through the electrolyte, then this will be given as mass is proportional to Q. Okay, so Q can be written as in terms of current I into T, that is current multiplied by the time period for which it is passed through the electrolyte. So M can be written as M is proportional to I into T. When we replace the sign of proportionality, then it can be written as M is equal to Z into I into T, where Z is called the constant which is depends upon the value of current and time and mass. So it is called electrochemical equivalent Z, which is constant for a particular type of electrolyte. It depends upon the quality or type of electrolyte. This electrochemical equivalent is a constant. So value of ECE can be determined when we pass 1 ampere of current through an electrolyte for 1 second. Then it will liberate mass is equal to Z, that is M is equal to Z. I you put 1, T you put 1, so M is equal to Z. That will become the result of this equation. So Z can be defined as it is amount of liberated ions liberated by the electrolyte by passing of 1 ampere of current for 1 second. Okay, so this is the definition of ECE, that is electrochemical equivalent, or the constant Z. Now Z can be given as the formula 1 upon F, that is called Faraday constant, into atomic weight of the electrolyte and divided by the valency of the electrolyte or the substance. So Z is equal to 1 upon F into A upon V. So F is the Faraday constant. Now here Faraday constant can be written as M is equal to Z. So M can be written as 1 upon F into A upon V into IT. If I put the equation M is equal to ZIT, then the value of Faraday constant F, it is given by 1 upon F into A upon V into I into T. This is the mass is equal to this equation. Now on place of IT I can put Q, because as I have discussed Q is equal to IT. So IT can be written as Q. So this equation become E upon F, that is electrochemical equivalent divided by Faraday constant into numerator multiplied by Q. So where E is the chemical equivalent weight of the substance. So value of F can be determined with the help of univalent material, that is silver. So silver have the value of valency 1 and its atomic weight is 107.88. So there is a constant number 0.001118 is equal to 1 upon F multiplied by atomic weight of the silver. So because silver is a univalent metal, so it is can be written as 1 upon F. So if solution is taken for the value of F with the help of this equation, then it will come to 96,500 coulombs, which is equivalent to if you convert it into ampere hour, then you divide it by 1 minute. In 1 minute there are 3600 seconds, 60 into 60. So this will come about to be 26.8 ampere hour. So the ampere hour is the rating of any battery or any type of cell which having their capacity defined by ampere hour. So how ampere hour is calculated, this is I have explained you. Then second law of Faraday states that the amount of ions liberated by each electrolyte, means there are more than one electrolyte connected in the series, putting in some jar, and when same amount of electricity pass through the electrolyte, then the quantity of ions liberated by the electrolyte is proportional to their electrochemical equivalent weight, and this is given by that mass is proportional to chemical equivalent of the electrolyte. So here when number of electrolyte connected in series by putting into some jar and pass the current I through all the electrolytes, same current in series, then mass of ions liberated, it is given directly proportional to the chemical equivalent of the electrolyte. Suppose there are three electrolyte A, B, C. So I pass through all A, B, C in series, same quantity of current, but ions liberated depends upon the chemical equivalent of different substance. So ions liberated by A is CeA, that is chemical equivalent of A. Ions liberated on B is proportional to CeB, that is ions liberated proportional to chemical equivalent of substance B. Similarly for C. So this is a formula derived from this, that chemical equivalent of A is divided by electrochemical equivalent of A is equal to chemical equivalent of B divided by electrochemical equivalent of B, and so on. So this whatever lecture I have given so far, this I explain it on the paper because the things are not so clear to you. So here you see, this is the demonstration of first law. Voltage applied to this electrolyte, there are two electrodes, current I pass through the electrolyte from plus to minus, and ions liberated on each electrode. It is proportional to the quantity of current, that is in coulomb we pass. When coulomb is replaced by I into T, then my mass is proportional to I into T. Then this can be written as, if we replace the proportionality sign, so this will be Z. So M is equal to ZIT. Now value of Z can be calculated by putting value of I as 1 ampere and time is 1 second. So this will become M is equal to Z. So after all this value M is equal to Z come, and its definition is given that the Z can be defined as, it is the electrochemical equivalent of the substance, defined as it is when 1 ampere current is passed through a electrolyte for 1 second, then whatever amount liberated, it is given by Z, and it is defined as electrochemical equivalent of the electrolyte, the ECE of this particular material which is filled up in this cell. So this is the demonstration of first law. Now for value of Z, there is a formula 1 upon F is equal into A upon B. Here where F is the Faraday constant, A is the atomic weight of the substance, and V is the valency of the substance. So F can be written as, by putting this value in this equation, M is equal to ZIT. So in place of Z you put F, that is Faraday constant, and multiply by I into T. So here the derivation of this particular equation for Faraday constant, it is given by putting the value of Z in terms of selection of material of univalent metal silver. Its Coulomb constant is given by 0.00118, and its atomic weight is 107.881. So when we put these values, for the value of M we put the value of valency 1, atomic weight, valency 1 atomic weight as given here for the silver. Why we selected silver? Because silver is a univalent metal, it is having atomic number 1. So when we just put all these quantities in this particular equation, so ultimately we find out that this particular value of F, it is equal to 95,500 Coulomb, and if it is converted into ampere hours, then you divide it by 3600, that is in 1 minute time. So this comes out to 26.48 ampere hours. So this ampere hour is known as the capacity of any battery. So whenever you purchase any battery from the market for the purpose of vehicle or inverter or any particular use, so you have to state that value of the capacity of the battery is given by ampere hour. So this ampere hour is the basic unit of the capacity energy contained in a chemical effect of electric current. Means whatever electrolyte you selected or battery you selected, so that will give its value rating in ampere hours. So higher the ampere hour, higher the long run of the battery, that is time of the battery. Suppose you are purchasing a 5 ampere hour battery, it means that 5 ampere current you can take from the battery for 1 hour, or 1 ampere current you can take from the battery for 5 hours. So it is multiplication of the ampere and hours. So if you want to run long time this battery, so take less current from the battery, and if you use battery fast, then you take more current from the battery, then it will be finished early. So this is the theory of battery and all the constant according to what is given according to Faraday's law, first and second. Second law states that the same quantity of electricity when passed through different electrolytes. See this figure. There are 3 electrolytes A, B, C, and same quantity of current passing through this. So amount of ions liberated by this particular section in this, they are proportional to their individual chemical equivalent. So the mass liberated by A is chemical equivalent of A, mass liberated by B, it is chemical equivalent of B, and mass liberated by C is chemical equivalent of C. So we have written mass is proportional to chemical equivalent of the substance. So if you put in this particular format, then we relate electrochemical equivalent with chemical equivalent. So electrochemical equivalent of substance divided by chemical equivalent of the substance, then these equations will come. that EA upon ZA, EB upon ZB, and EC upon ZC. So where E is the, as I have told you, electrochemical equivalent divided by the chemical equivalent. So chemical equivalent and electrochemical equivalent of the individual material, they are proportional. So chemical equivalent weight is represented by E, and Z is represent the electrochemical equivalent. So this is the complete explanation of Faraday's first and second law. So you understand better, and if you have any problem, you can ask me. Now, apart from this particular article, there is a comparison of cell, primary cell and secondary cell. So primary cells are those cells which use their chemical energy totally converted into electrical energy. So all the type of dry cell which are of this nature, they are not rechargeable, means use and throw. Whatever you are putting cell in remote and other toys and all that, pencil cell in watches, घड़ी में लगाते हैं जो, ये सब प्राइमरी सेल है. प्राइमरी सेल क्यों बोलते हैं इनको? कि इसमें जो केमिकल एनर्जी कंटेंट है, दैट विल बी exhausted after a period of time, and this particular cell cannot be recharged. जैसे मोबाइल का सेल आप रिचार्ज कर लेते हैं ना बार बार. So primary cell are those which are not chargeable. They cannot be recharged. Secondary cell are those which are chargeable, in which chemical energy repeatedly used by inserting it in some form of lead acid cell. If you see, the acid is become short in the battery, then you put some acid, the battery again get life. So secondary cell are those which are chargeable, and primary cells are those which are not chargeable. So here, when we discuss about the comparison between primary and secondary cell, the number of cell, if put in a battery in combination series parallel, then it will form a battery. So battery have a number of cells, they are connected in series normally. So a battery may have 4 cells, 5 cells, 6 cells, 8 cells, depending upon the capacity. So when we compare both the cells, primary and secondary cell, then some point of comparison is there. First point, that they are not chargeable, primary cell. Secondary cells are chargeable. Size of primary cell, they are very small. Size of secondary cell, they are large in size. Cost of primary cell is less. Cost of secondary cell is high. Okay. Durability of primary cell is less. Durability of secondary cell is more. So there are 4-5 points are there on which you can compare this cell very easily. Space provided for primary cell is very less required. Space required. But space required for the secondary cell is large. So these are all the points which I have given, that how comparison between primary and secondary cell can be done. So normally in exam sometimes they ask compare the primary and secondary cell. So you can write 5 points maximum for comparison. Okay. So this finishes your the comparison part of cell, construction of cell, Faraday's law of electrolysis, calculation of chemical equivalent and electrochemical equivalent of the material, that is electrolyte. Now there is a one cell in your course that is called lead acid cell. This lead acid cell is consist of a jar of insulated material. As you have seen the battery in the truck or vehicle, they are the lead acid cell, because in that acid we have to fill up every time. So their size is large. There is a 2 electrode, one is positive electrode, that is PbO2, that is the positive electrode. PbO2, that is peroxide of the lead. Lead peroxide is the positive electrode of the cell, and the negative electrode of the cell is consists of spongy lead. So spongy lead is the pure lead in soft spongy form, porous condition. Its chemical formula is Pb from this point of view. So this is act as a negative electrode, and PbO2 is selected as a positive electrode. The electrolyte in this lead acid cell is H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. So there are two equations for charging and discharging. Construction is simple, that you put a jar in which positive electrode PbO2, negative electrode is Pb, connect it with a wire from the source of load. So when you discharge the load, then you connect a resistance across it. So the formula for derivation for at the cathode means positive electrode, and anode, cathode is negative electrode and anode is a positive electrode. So at cathode, what is the equation holds good, that PbSO4 react with H2. So this form Pb plus H2SO4. This is the formula at the cathode. Anode पे क्या होगा, PbSO4 react with whatever discharge होता है H2SO4, तो number of the molecule of the H2SO4 converted into water molecule. So acid become dilute हो जाता है, इसलिए बोलते हैं यार एसिड कम हो गया या एसिड कमजोर हो गया, इसमें एसिड डालो बैटरी में. तो एसिड डालना मतलब इट इज़ ए डिस्टिल्ड वाटर नॉर्मली, और एसिड ग्रेड डिस्टिल्ड वाटर, its value is 1150 acid grade water, which is और सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड ऑफ 1150 ग्रेड उसका केमिकल स्पेसिफिकेशन है. तो ये अपन डाल देते हैं बैटरी में. सो एनोड पे एक्शन क्या होती है, PbSO4 फॉर्म होता है, PbO2 रिएक्ट विथ वाटर 2H2O. सो दिस विल फॉर्म PbSO4, sulfate formation on anode, and that release SO4 ions from the anode. So our concentration of the acid will increase, because in the equation it is given PbSO4 plus twice H2O equal to PbO2 plus H2SO4. You can write and compare the equation. So PbO2 become again pure, that is the anode, and SO4 ions react with H2, so it will again form H2SO4. So concentration of acid increase. So there are two equations, charging and discharging. So total equation in one form we can write on anode PbO2 plus 2H2SO4 plus Pb means negative electrode. So equation you write PbO2 plus twice H2SO4 plus Pb. So PbO2 you can write positive plate and Pb you can write negative plate. So it is a reversal, मतलब चार्जिंग एंड डिस्चार्जिंग दोनों है. तो आप ऐसा एरो बनाओ यूं और एक ऐसा एरो बनाओ यूं. So that will be form. I will just write and show you. First you understand it. So डिस्चार्ज की इक्वेशन में क्या होगा, बनेगा PbSO4 twice H2O प्लस PbSO4 एट नेगेटिव प्लेट. सो पॉजिटिव प्लेट और नेगेटिव प्लेट दोनों पे PbSO4 फॉर्मेशन होगा और वाटर रिलीज होगा एसिड से. सो एसिड की जो कंसंट्रेशन है वो रिड्यूस हो जाएगी और एसिड डाइल्यूट हो जाएगा. तो ये तो हो गया डिस्चार्ज, मतलब आप जब बैटरी के अक्रॉस रेजिस्टेंस लगाएंगे तो डिस्चार्ज होगी बैटरी. अब इसको चार्ज करना है. सो यू टेक ए बैटरी चार्जर जस्ट लाइक इन स्मॉल बैटरीज इट इज़ ए मोबाइल चार्जर जो होता है उस टाइप का रहता है. बड़ी बैटरी में बड़े साइज का रहता है, उसमें एसी करंट देते हैं, पहले उसको रेक्टिफाई करते हैं डीसी में और वाट एवर वोल्टेज ऑफ द बैटरी होता है दोनों टर्मिनल पे पॉजिटिव निगेटिव पे कनेक्ट कर देते हैं, तो वो स्टार्ट गिविंग करंट टू द, मतलब चार्जिंग करंट टू द बैटरी। तो उस समय इक्वेशन उल्टी हो जाएगी, मतलब PbSO4 ट्वाइस H2O प्लस PbSO4 जो लिबरेट हुआ था रेजिस्टेंस लगाने के टाइम डिस्चार्जिंग ऑफ द करंट, डिस्चार्जिंग ऑफ द बैटरी। सो अब ये उल्टा अपन जब गिनेंगे तो ये वापस PbO2 के फॉर्म में आ जाएगा, आपका इलेक्ट्रोड पॉजिटिव, निगेटिव इलेक्ट्रोड Pb फॉर्म में आ जाएगा, और H2SO4 रिलीज होगा तो आपका कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ द बैटरी बढ़ जाएगा इलेक्ट्रोलाइट का। तो दिस मेथड विल से अपन चार्जिंग ऑफ द बैटरी। So the equation that given for this particular charging and discharging of the battery, that I have just write and show you that PbSO4, first we take on positive electrode PbO2 plus twice H2SO4 प्लस निगेटिव इलेक्ट्रोड Pb। तो डिस्चार्जिंग के टाइम एरो लेफ्ट टू राइट रहेगा, और चार्जिंग के टाइम सेम इक्वेशन में एरो राइट टू लेफ्ट रहेगा। तब लिबरेशन क्या होगा, दोनों ऑन बोथ दी इलेक्ट्रोड देयर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सल्फेट, that is PbSO4 on the positive plate, then it release water to H2O, then on negative plate also it form PbSO4. So this is the equation in which this is the positive plate, this is the negative plate, in this is the positive plate and this is the negative plate. So you just see that when this equation is combinedly written, so this is in this form, you see that from right to left and left to right, when we are going from right to left then it is a discharging, means we are connecting a resistance across this, and when we charging the battery then it is reverse of that. That's why two arrow in different direction I have shown here, this and this. So this is one arrow for charging. First the discharging takes place, then second arrow will be charging. So this is lower arrow, it is charging, and upper arrow is for discharging. So by diagram you can simply represent this battery, that jar is taken in which two electrodes are there. Positive electrode, it is positive electrode taken as PbO2 and negative electrode taken as Pb only, that is spongy iron, a spongy lead. So this is PbO2 and this is Pb, and when you connect it through a resistance, or say for example charging, so you connect it through a battery, so this is the charging will takes place. So first charging of battery is there, after that you will discharge, and in case of discharging you can connect on place of battery, you can connect a resistance. So this one simple diagram, it can explain the complete lead acid cell. This is the charging, and when you want to discharge or replace this battery and put a resistance, so that equations will be holds good for this particular figure. So this is lead acid cell. Normally construction principle of operation I have explained you in short. From book you can take the complete diagram of this battery, but normally in examination complete diagram of battery is not possible to draw, so their components may be written. So I just you write down the active material of the lead acid cell. So active material are lead peroxide PbO2, that is the positive electrode. Negative electrode is spongy lead, as I have told you, And third component active material is dilute sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid H2SO4 is used, and chemical changes whatever obtained in this particular Petri data I have shown you by reversible equation. It is given by two arrow, one on this side, one on this side, and by figure you can represent. Put a jar in which PbO2 one electrode and Pb second electrode. Put acid, dilute acid, sulfuric acid in this jar. Connect from outsource. If you are discharging, then you connect a resistance, so that equation will holds good for discharging. And when you want to charge the cell, then you put on the charger. So this is all about the chemical effect of electric current. That is your fifth topic. So this finishes this topic. Normally questions ask what is define Faraday's law, define electrochemical equivalent, define chemical equivalent of substance, describe or compare the primary and secondary cell, and then explain the working principle of lead acid cell. So this much course is there in your topic number 4, which I have completed. Next time we will take the last topic, that is materials. So this will complete the course of beam. Okay, basic engineering electrical and materials. So this is all for today. You listen this lecture seriously. What I have not told in hurry, I am explain step by step. So you just listen the lecture, and whatever diagram I have given, you draw on your notebook. So this is the complete notes for your examination. So this is all for today. Thank you very much.